After about 3 weeks sub-zero, we have now again gotten milder weather. It's coming from the Atlantic and it is melting. Everything is melting. Anyways, today I wanted to talk to you guys about 3 things. Give you 3 tips that a lot of people don't mention or don't say, but that are extremely helpful and extremely important if you want to start homesteading or farming. So the first thing I want to talk about is that modern equipment, and especially automated equipment, is not always the best. Even though I think that the technique itself, the new equipment is probably really good, not all the time does that mean that that is what you should have. One of the best sheep farmers around here, he died last year. He refused to get automated waterers for his sheep because he said that this time where he would stand by this old bathtub that he used as a waterer, these 10 minutes that it took for him to stand there with the hose and fill up the water, those were precious moments that he otherwise wouldn't take to observe his herd of sheep. He would observe them and see how they're doing. He would bond with them. They would come to him. And if you have automated waterers, in that case he refused it, that would mean that he would not get that time. So my tip in this is that you need to have time to observe your animals, and if that means stand there with a hose to fill in a few buckets or something to observe your animals, well, you get to save money on the equipment and you get to observe your animals during that time. The next tip that I want to give you is about choosing the right breed for your conditions. You see, in modern agriculture, the industrial agriculture, they try to copy everything pretty much from everywhere, and they try to work against your conditions and try to create an environment for these modern breeds. If you want to go with the seasons, you need to get breeds that work well with your conditions, with your land. If you have wetter land, you got to get lighter breeds that don't mess up all the ground. If you want to have free-range chickens, you want to look at a breed that is really good at finding feed on pasture and free-ranging, and so on. In our case, we have chosen the Highland cattle breed, or the Belted Galloway breed in the future, which is, it grows slower, but they do extremely well with only grass, and they have really healthy births, and you can keep them up till 20 years old, and they will have a healthy calf every year. And they have a double fur layer, which means less winter feed for us in this long winter season, and so on. And these modern meat breeds, for example, we would have to feed them with lots of things to keep up their growth and so on. So don't try to change your conditions and force a modern breed on there. Instead, work with the nature. That's the second tip. My third tip and last tip for this video is that you should always go and visit farmers or homesteaders that are in a tougher place than you are. Could be anything. That could mean further north with a rougher climate. It could mean with less space. It could mean with worse soil, worse pasture, harder water conditions, and so on. Because they have always found ways and have to find ways to work around that stuff. And if they are able to do it, you should be able to do it at your place. It was really interesting following Justin Rhodes on his Great American Farm Tour, where he actually went into Canada. And in southern Canada, the farmers were at the best farming grounds in Canada, whereas in the North United States, they look at it very negatively as being on the worst climate, toughest climate. So just that change in attitude made farmers in southern Canada really thrive compared to northern New York, for example. We had a friend from northern Sweden that moved down here several years ago, and she was so excited about this milder climate that she would move to, and I was like, wow, I wish I could live further south. But she looked at it very positively, and if you look and study farms that have tougher conditions, you will learn a ton for your Homestead. So guys, that's it for today. A short video with these 3 tips today on this rainy, melty day, and hope to see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this and found it helpful, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.